Hey everyone, welcome to 99.6 The Howl for the uninitiated. This is an unedited YouTube vlog discussing everything Arizona Coyotes. And I thought Thanksgiving was supposed to be a holiday where you have days off to spend with your family and not have 3 divisional games in 4 nights. What a roller coaster of games. I mean, just one game after another, didn't know what was going on. I would wake up, did I miss a game last night? What's happening? What games I have to watch? Thankfully, it's over. A lot of different storylines in each of these games. Anaheim, they had at home, had the day off for Thanksgiving, they had one day off, then flew to Vegas, and then the next day, Saturday, we're home to the San Jose Sharks. So let's start with the Anaheim Ducks. You know, Christian Dvorak getting 2 goals. The Coyotes came out flying against the Ducks. They looked good. Middle period, third period, didn't look too good. And to be honest, I don't think the Coyotes deserved those 2 points against Anaheim, but they managed to get those 2 points, and that's what good teams do. They win games when they're having an off night. And you know, it was one of the few off nights the Coyotes have had since probably the Toronto game, but they still won the game. So it wasn't that, alerted or concerned about that game. You know, the Ducks always have the Coyotes number. I mean, Gibson and Ryan Miller always have amazing games against the Coyotes. The Coyotes don't seem to score against the Ducks a lot, and that rang true against in this game. I mean, if you look at the third goal, the Coyotes scored to tie the game. A random slap shot by Goligoski and hits some guy's rear end, and then goes over Gibson and falls in the net. I mean, not really a deserved goal, but it went in and it happened. Coyotes win in the shootout. They get the 2 points. They go to Vegas, an amazing first period. Even on the road, that looked like a home game for the Coyotes. They got an early goal, and then in the second period, the Coyotes didn't show up until 8 minutes left into the second, where the Vegas Golden Knights managed to tie it up in that second period when the Coyotes were sleeping. And then they didn't actually tie it. They got the lead 1-0. Yeah, I mean, the Coyotes were so good in the first period that they didn't score. I mean, thinking about it, I thought they scored, but they didn't score. But they had a lot of grade A chances. They were playing with speed. And then they fell asleep in the second, like I said. Vegas went up 1-0. Chychrun with just a nice shot, but the Coyotes had no momentum at all going their way. More like an against the flow type of goal. And Coyotes tied up 1-1. They have a pretty good third period, evenly matched third. Overtime was great. Not a lot of whistles, maybe 1 whistle. And then into the shootout, Tocchet throwing out Schmaltz, Dvorak, and Garland like he did against Anaheim. And in Anaheim, they won. But this time, only Dvorak scored, and Vegas scored 2 of their 3 goals, and they won the game. It was a shootout loss on the road against Vegas. I was pretty pleased. I mean, that first and third period were good, but yeah, that second period was kind of off. And then Saturday is when now I'm starting to get concerned, and they got things to work on. This team isn't perfect. They got to just work on a full 60. I remember mentioning that in earlier videos. I remember being upset that they wouldn't start games on time, and they had those trio of games of New Jersey, the Islanders, and Buffalo, where they had terrible first periods, and I wanted them to work on that and start games on time, and they have. Like, first periods are generally good for the Coyotes, and then now it's the second period. And against the Ducks, they had a 2-0 lead in the first 2 minutes of the game. Ducks score 1 in the first, sure. I think Raanta should have had that Couture goal, the first goal. I mean, Raanta went down before Couture even shot the puck, and then Couture had so much open space in the top corner and just shot it there because he's Logan Couture. He's an Olympic hockey player. I'm pretty sure he's on the Hockey Canada team. But yes, he's a very good player and he could snipe goals. But 2-1 going into the second period, and then Coyotes didn't show up for that second period. Sharks score 2 more goals. They get the lead from being down 2-0. They get the lead to 3-2. Coyotes finally wake up in the third. They have a couple grade A chances by Brad Richardson, who can't buy a goal. And they lose 4-2 in regulation to a divisional team, a team who's biting their behinds. And that's where they stand. The Coyotes are 1 point behind the first place Oilers, and then every single Pacific team is just sniffing at that second place spot, except the Ducks and the Kings. I think we don't have to worry about them. But I think the Flames, the Sharks, and the Knights realize that they're losing their spots to these teams who shouldn't be where they are. Edmonton, Coyotes, and Canucks are top three in the division. I think we're going to start to see Calgary, San Jose, and Vegas just start to ramp it up and realize that they're running out of runway here. They got to start putting together wins and start playing some good hockey. And so the Coyotes need to realize that there's teams behind them that are going to start clicking. And you can see San Jose, they had an awful start, and now they're the hottest team in the league. They're 3 points behind second place Coyotes. And so Coyotes got to get it together. They got another 3 games and 4 nights on the road in the East. But thankfully, they're not against dominant teams. They're against Columbus, Philly, and Pittsburgh. I mean, I really don't expect a regulation loss out of those 3 games. If it happens and it's not their fault, it happens. It's hockey. But I expect the Coyotes to play hard each of those 3 games. These are teams that are barely, I think only Pittsburgh's in a playoff spot. All 3 of them are behind the Coyotes in standings and points. So the Coyotes got to pick up a lot of points here. They got to come together and fix their problem of not playing a full 60 minutes. They haven't had a lot of practice time this month. The month of November has been atrocious schedule-wise, and we all knew that coming in. This was one of the worst months of the year for the Coyotes, and they managed to get points and wins. They're still 1 point out of the division lead. So, I mean, that's a positive month. They got to get to practice, work on a 60 minutes, because these second periods, man, if it wasn't for Kemper in that Vegas game or Kemper in the Ducks game, they probably could have lost both those games. And Ranta had an off night against the Sharks. I feel like the first and second goal he should have had. But if you face really good teams come, March and April, and you're having these 10 to 15 minutes of bad hockey, some teams could burn you. And I mean, we're fortunate that Coyotes haven't been burned a lot, but it could happen. Other news, Eric Comrie got traded for Vili Saarijarvi, who's an AHL defenseman who will go to Tucson. I'm surprised about that trade. I thought the Coyotes would hold on to Comrie just a bit longer as an insurance policy in case one of the goalies went down with an injury. I mean, Ranta was sick against Anaheim and Vegas, and Comrie was behind the bench. So, I mean, maybe they like the conditioning of Ranta and Kemper, and they decide to get another depth defenseman. So, we'll see how that works out. That's it for me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support.